Brad, I think you have a good explanation here of just how something like this can happen so quickly.
Yeah.
And we heard Alex last night talking about this being the flash flooding capital of the world. So why is it that something like this can happen in this area so quickly?
Yeah, and we're reminded of that when we see it, right? Yeah, so this is the flash flood capital of the world. We didn't just get that title in the last couple of weeks with the storms we've had. It's been known for a long time, for 100 years, that devastating floods happen here that are worse than anywhere else in the world, with far less rain than what is needed in other parts of the country. So this morning we're still watching rain, but why is it so dangerous in Kerrville and down the Guadalupe River? And I would argue that the Guadalupe may be one of the most dangerous rivers in the world. And obviously it's easy to say that now after you know what's happened, but this isn't the first time. And it's not just the Guadalupe. You've got the Comal River, you've got Blanco. Many rivers in this area are so dangerous. So let's zoom right into Kerrville here, and you can see the Guadalupe River. Here's the town of Kerrville going upstream. Okay, the water flows this way from Ingram, and then you continue down Highway 39. And I'll have to this is the highway that, of course, folks are going to Camp Mystic that's been washed out. See how it parallels the river? Yeah, just right along the river. And then you have the North Fork and the South Fork of the Guadalupe that merge together. So why is it so dangerous? Well, in this part of Texas, the hill country, the soil is only about a foot deep, maybe 2 feet max. Some places, the limestone is right at the surface. You can see how white all of this is. There's a lot more limestone exposed. So what we have is you have basically an entire parking lot, okay, covering a county, and all of the rain runs off, and the only way out, basically your storm drain, is the Guadalupe River Basin. You don't have any other escapes because of the hill country to where you have a stream or a river going this way or that way. So the combination, basically the giant parking lot, and the only way out for all of that water is the Guadalupe River. There are very few places in the world that have a surface like that with the hill country and only one escape path. Not very many people live in this part of the country, of Kerr County, but a lot of people live downstream by the river where it's very desirable. Everybody loves to have a house by the river, and it's extremely dangerous here in the hill country. We're going to have to look at better ways to warn people. Of course, flash flood warnings were issued. There are flash flood warnings out right now. Very dangerous flooding happening west of Austin. And obviously, people's senses right now are far more elevated. I tried to get to the Guadalupe yesterday to watch the debris flow coming down, and there were police and game warden and rangers, everybody everywhere saying stay back from the river, closing down roads, because now we know that this is not a safe river in this type of event. So we're going to see this happen again. It's happened many times in the past, just either we weren't here when it happened, or our memories have been forgotten. We don't have video and pictures like we do now. So today in San Antonio, we do have more rain that is on the way. 40, 50, 60% chance of rain. It's been interesting, this very stubborn low pressure, and unfortunately, it's very difficult to forecast record rainfall events. Anytime you can't really forecast a record, right? Because all of our forecasting is based on what has happened in the past, and if we don't have many examples to compare it to, chances are it's going to be very difficult to know what can happen next. But obviously we know this can happen, and things will change as a result of it. I'll send it back over to you.
Right now, we want to be hearing from State Representative Wes Verdell. He is on the phone. Oh, okay. Well,
he's standing by, so while we're waiting for him, Brad, if we can just ask you one quick question here. You said the Guadalupe is the only place that all this water can go. Now it goes into Canyon Lake, and that's what Canyon Lake was built for, right? To handle all of this runoff?
Yep. Essentially, it is to prevent floods from continuing downstream. Okay, so that's what dams are originally built for. We just kind of congregated to these lakes because they're fun recreational places and you build houses by it. And then folks say, well, hey, we have all this water. Let's make some electricity out of it. Let's use it for drinking. So more or less, dams mostly are to stop floods. Okay, and then we use them for various other resources. So yeah, maybe additional dams upstream might come into play, but it always goes back to how expensive is it? Whose land are you going to build this dam on? And then you have the whole fish and wildlife, because dams do disrupt the game.
Yeah, true.
We heard you talking yesterday on social media and on air about how this could possibly be the biggest flooding event in the Hill Country area outside of 1932. Did it reach those cresting levels? I know the gauge broke at a certain point,
right.
So we're not exactly sure, but did it reach the 1932 level?
So we don't know. The gauge in Hunt was the one that broke, and that's where the flooding was the worst. It went into Kerrville. Kerrville didn't have nearly as much rain as Ingram and Hunt, but the gauges broke. People are going to have to go and do research there to figure out just how high the river got. But I think it's either there or not a little bit higher. This may have well been the highest recorded flood in that area.